Alright, this is part 2 of the orientation for MAT 125. Alright, so we already covered the orientation stuff here, and so under timeline, let's look at the weekly schedule and due dates. This is where, under weekly schedule, if you click here, this is where you're going to find what you should be doing for the week. So if you click on this web link, it's going to go again to the website, okay? And so, once again, if this isn't your semester, just realize that this is going to be equivalent to whatever your semester is going to be. Whenever you click your link, it will take you to your correct semester. Anyway, so if you look here, we've got things organized in two different ways. One is relevance to assignments, and then also a weekly timeline. So if you wanted to see like what your prep materials need to be for each assignment, you could look under relevance to assignments. That's kind of like a quick link, so you don't have to, you know, go to every single weekly schedule to look at your stuff all the time. But so for exercise 1, you need to make sure that you're doing at least these things so that you can successfully do your exercise 1, including reading. And these are in the order that you should be doing them too. So you should do the reading first, and then do this lecture, then do the getting set up with Komodo Edit, and then you're going to do this part, which helps you actually do your assignment properly. And by the way, you can't do your assignment at all without watching this one. And so the same is going to be for exercise 2, 3, 4, and so on. And then you've got your final project. And then the second section comes up where it's organized by weeks. And again, if you scroll to the top, there is this weekly timeline. So if I click on that, it jumps down to that section. So you can look at the date and see what you need to be doing based on the dates. And that's going to be really important, so that you can always keep up with what you need to be doing during the week. And it'll tell you when things are due, it'll tell you what you should be doing during the week, and so forth, okay? Alright, let's go back here, and if you look at due dates, this is due dates so that you can look at them at a glance. In fact, what you can do is you can also go ahead and just stick all of these due dates in your calendar, and whatever kind of calendar system you use, so that if you have alerts or anything like that, it'll remind you when things are going to be due. Okay, so these are all your due dates at a glance. Alright, and for the discussions where you have to do an initial post and then later do a second post, it'll tell you when the initial posts are due, and so forth. Okay, so for course content over here on the left, there's another link to that syllabus. Okay, so it's a quick link to your syllabus. We've already looked at it, so I'm not going to cover it again. And then you've got two things here for assignments. One is called assignment outlines, and the other one is called turn-in assignments here. If you just want to get a quick view of assignment outlines so you can see what is required, what you need to do, click on the assignment outlines, and you'll see here, first of all, I tell you right off the bat that the lessons that are in the book are not for a grade. The lessons in the book are for practice only. If you choose not to do them, that's totally up to you. And a lot of students do fine without actually doing the lessons, although you do need to do the readings. Some people like to do the lessons in addition to doing your assignments. That's really your decision. I'm not going to grade them. You don't have to upload them. So please don't be confused, and try to turn in the lessons for your assignments. Every once in a while I'll have somebody who doesn't actually read what they're supposed to be doing, and they turn in a lesson instead of the correct exercise 1. The lessons in the book, I'll reiterate one more time, are just specifically for practice. Okay, and then you also have class discussions, which if you click this link, it takes you to the discussion board, and it basically, to turn your discussions in, you just participate in those discussions. You don't turn anything in here or anything like that. And to actually read what you're supposed to do for each discussion, you need to go to the discussion board, okay, which is right here. Also, if you click this link, it takes you to the same link that this does. Now, each one of these assignments is going to have an outline. So if you click on exercise 1, it's going to open up in the web browser what you're supposed to be doing for exercise 1. This is explicitly what you need to do for exercise 1, and you must do everything in it. So if it says that you need to watch a 3-part video series or something like that, you need to do that. If it says you need to download something as an example framework, you need to do that. Okay, so don't skip through things thinking, oh, I'm not going to watch that, I'm just going to do it myself. Sometimes the only way that you can do it is to watch the tutorial. It's not much different than being in class and receiving a lecture. Okay, you need to think of it that way. Just because the class is not synchronous, meaning it's not, you don't have to be at a certain place at a certain time, it doesn't mean that it's not the same kind of class where you still get a lecture, demonstration, and so forth. Okay, so that's going to be true of all of the exercises and the projects, okay? Something else real quickly to notice is if you are taking this as a summer class or as a 15-week late start class, the final project is going to be labeled as Project 2. If you are taking this as a normal 18-week class, you will have something here called Project 1 and Project 2, okay? So the class is a little bit different depending on how long the duration of the course is. Okay, so those are the assignment outlines so that you can learn what it is that you're supposed to be doing. Now, where it says turn assignments in, here, you'll click this, and what you're going to be doing is you're going to fulfill your assignments, you're going to do your assignment, you're going to create your web files, and you're going to upload them to the server, and that's the first part. The second part of turning in your assignment so that I know to go grade it is that you come to this place and you click this link. Let's say you're going to turn in your first assignment. You click on Turn in Exercise 1 here, and it will give you instructions as to what you need to do. Specifically, you need to go to your web browser and you need to copy the link for where your file was, and you need to paste it here so I know exactly where to go to grade it, and that way I know that you're finished. A lot of times people will put stuff up on the server if they're having problems so that I can troubleshoot it or so that they can test it, and I don't know if you're really done or not. And so for me to know that you're really ready for me to grade it, you need to do this. You need to turn all this stuff in by giving me the final link to where your files are. Now, something that's important to understand is sometimes students will give me a link to the files that are on their hard drive. That's not helpful to me. I can't see what's on your hard drive. You need to give me the link that would show up here whenever you look at it in your web browser that's on the server. Okay, so for instance, I'm going to open a new tab, and if we go to MAT, alright, this is our class right here, and as of right now there are no students listed because it's before the semester starts, but if your name is here, you would click your name and you would find where it would say exercise, your name here, and then exercise is exercise 1. This is the link that you're going to paste. It's going to start with mat.miracosta.edu. It's not going to say C drive or anything like that. So make sure that you're giving me the correct address to go to whenever I have to grade. Okay? So that's how you turn your assignments in. The discussion board is off to the left, and you're going to see that this is where the course FAQs are. So if you have general questions that are not specifically technical questions related to assignments, ask them here. Like if you see, for instance, that there are 2 conflicting dates somewhere where it says that something's due, please let me know here. I make mistakes too, everybody does, and so occasionally you might see a date that is confusing to you. Please let me know right away. You can also email me something like that so that I can change it immediately. But if you need to know something like a question about the book or whatever, ask it here. Okay? This is your class introductions. You're absolutely required to do this. It's basically introducing yourself to the class, and then you're also going to read your classmates' stuff and you're going to give them feedback. You must do this. If you don't do this, I will drop you from the class. This is mandatory. It's sort of like showing up for the first day of class in an in an on-ground class. Instructors will drop you if you don't show up. Okay, it's the same kind of principle. I need to know who's in my class, and I'm excited to get to know you guys, so make sure you do this right away. This is the Tech Help discussion. If you have questions that are about coding or that are specifically related to your assignments, ask them here. This is a peer checked discussion board, so if you have the answer to someone else's question, then answer it. If you have a similar question to somebody else, then go ahead and ask. What I don't really care for is if somebody is having general confusion and you just get on there and you say, hey, I'm lost, I don't understand what's going on in this class. That's not helpful to anybody. if you have problems like that, what I need you to do is you need to email me so that I can help you with your specific issues. If it's sort of a generalized, overwhelming confusion or something like that. But if you have technical questions, like you're having problems with your style sheets or with your HTML or something like that, go ahead and ask here. I check this, and so do students. And you are going to receive credit only if you participate a certain number of times, and if you also are responding to your fellow classmates, not just asking questions. If you think you might be able to help somebody, because that's going to help you learn the material better too. Okay, but I do weigh in on this. Alright, and then you've got these other ones that are all graded. Okay, so it tells you exactly what you need to do for all of them. So just make sure you read the instructions. And the due dates will tell you when things are due, both on the discussion board but also up here in due dates. So you can see everything at a glance up here. Okay, now that's the discussion board. Then we've got lectures and demos. Lectures and demos, this is a place where a lot of other things are going to be linked to this area, but the reason I put this here is so that if you can't remember in the timeline where you're supposed to be able to find a lecture or a demonstration, you can always just come to lectures and demos and you can scroll through and look for all of the different ones that you may have already watched, you need to go back to or whatever. They're all categorized here, okay? Or I should say cataloged here, alright? And most of them will link out to my website. Okay, and then you've got links, books, and resources, which is just sort of general. It's not a required section, but you can look at that too. And then if you want to know what your grades are, you can look at my grades. If you need to contact me and you don't want to go to my website, you can go to Contact Instructor, okay, and it'll come up to this page. And so here's my contact information if you need to reach me. And down below we've got how to add and drop classes. Please use this before you ask me a question about how to drop the class. There's a tutorial right on the Help Desk website, so here's a link to it. And other tutorials are available here. Okay, so I'm looking forward to a great semester with you, and please feel free to contact me with any questions that you have after you've reviewed all the materials. I'm happy to help you, and I'm looking forward to the semester.